Hey, good morning. So today we're just going to talk about the VA loan appraisal and how to fix it when it goes wrong. So it's going to be very specific to VA appraisals. There's a lot to entail in a VA loan. This is specifically to VA appraisals and how to fix it when it goes wrong. This is the number one question I get from realtors. So we try to do a lot of training on it. As you know, I'm Steve Tunn, and we like doing VA loans. All right. So the big thing is U.S. Navy veteran. I've used my VA loan several times. I've done VA loan assumptions. I've also done all different types of various VA products. But we love using the VA loans. We help a lot of airline pilots, military transitioning. I'm in the Atlanta market. I use the VA Noonan Medical Clinic for care. So a lot of times I'm talking to your veterans when they get reported or get referred in. We're talking a lot more than loans. We're talking about, it could be anything from mental health to getting your care to getting your VA claim to how to manage that piece. So it's a lot more than just getting a loan for me when we're helping our veterans out. Two big things we love about VA loans: no down payment, no loan limit. Okay, so why are we watching this video? So really we're here to save the deal. Most people are going to stop at the Tidewater process, and there's a whole nother section we can use. So we're basically turning small dollar into the big dollar and saving the deal for you through education. This isn't any gimmick stuff. This is actually how it works, and this is all through the VA lending handbook. Okay, we call this the ladder of knowledge. So your competition, your knowledge now, you showed up, you're watching this, so you're better than your competition. And then your knowledge after watching. We'll have a lot of resources for this. These are free resources to use. All I ask you guys is to please exhaust all these opportunities if you're helping a veteran out and we're working on doing a home loan for a veteran. VA loans. So most people, some states will have some state guidance on VA loans. There's federal guidance on VA loans. So I'm not going to insult you on the nitty gritty part. You guys know how to write contracts. This is specific to show you how to save the deal and how to work with the regional loan center and how to work within the VA portal and the systems. All right. So we're going to talk about the appraisal and then what to do when things go wrong. Two very basic things, and I think this will help you out. Okay, so two parts of the appraisal now. You have a minimum property requirement. The VA has emphasized this, it's a minimum property requirement. Property valuation. What they're looking at on a minimum property requirement, it's very specific to safety items. And so the next slide, we'll go over these. The biggest thing you're going to be looking for is you normally have a termite inspection you'll do, or pest inspection, it's commonly referred to as. But the ones I always see that pop up are going to be your electrical. Usually in your garage, someone started a project and they didn't put a cap on an electrical outlet, or you're going to have chipping paint. If the house was built prior to 1978, it'll be considered lead-based paint. There's a process we do, and we'll work with you hand in hand if we actually end up with some chipping paint. But those are kind of the two biggest ones I see: is electrical and chipping paint. And we're not talking like it has to be pretty significant chipping paint. Traditionally, it's going to be around garages. At the bottom, you'll have rot there, and that will kind of lead to the chipping paint. But we walk you through that process of exactly what needs to be fixed and if they're subject to prior to closing. But the biggest these are safety, and it's a minimum property requirement. So if you know you have a house that needs some work on it, let's take this and then we send it to your home inspector prior to the appraisal going out there, and they check this stuff for us. All right. So here's the property valuation, the process. And then we're going to get more specific into the process. So the big thing is you have a purchase contract, the VA system, Webley, not important to know that. And then that's going to order the appraisal. And the appraiser is going to give the appraisal report back to the system. And then the SAR, which is the staff appraiser reviewer, they're a very important person. They work for the lender. They issue the notice of value. That's what the lender uses. And it's important to know that because sometimes when you have conflict with an appraiser or a Tidewater issue or a reconsideration of value, You need to know who to talk to. Because once the SAR issues the notice of value that we use as the lender, you can't talk to the appraiser anymore. That thing is locked. You can talk to him, and I've seen this as a trend. People will be talking to the appraiser. He'll be responding back, he or she, and it's like he can't do anything. It's locked. That appraisal is locked once the SAR issues the notice of value. So that's the process: purchase contract, VA system, the appraiser, the SAR, staff appraisal reviewer, notice of value. We order VA appraisals same day. So it's not like this process. So I can order this the second we get the purchase contract. Okay. This is, I called the Atlanta Regional Loan Center and I asked them about this. Property valuations are somewhat subjective. And this is always a big kind of rub with a lot of realtors. This is the guidance they're given. Stay within the neighborhood, within 1 mile. Like properties, ranch, 2-story, they can go outside 1 mile if needed. So we almost use this to our advantage if the appraisal isn't what we like. But this is the guidance they're given. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. This is just what they are given. And this is coming from the Regional Loan Center at the VA here in Atlanta. Okay. So this is, we're going to talk about now what to do when it goes wrong. And there's really 2 processes we're going to talk about: the Tidewater and the reconsideration of value. And that we're going to explain to you how that works. VA appraisals, my VA appraisal came in low. What's important to know, 92% of VA appraisals will come in at value or above value. Less than 1% of that 8% will actually submit for a reconsideration of value. That's why we're talking today, is to show you that, because everyone stops at the Tidewater and there's a whole nother section. It takes 5 days. It's very quick. That's what we're going to show you. There's a common verbiage on the conventional and VA loan. Conventional reconsideration of value, that's step 1. That's all you have. This is why the VA loan, I think, is the best loan product out there. Step 1 is going to be a Tidewater process. We'll talk about that next slide. Step 2 is going to be a reconsideration of value process. And that is where people skip over all the time. And so we're going to give you the education. I'm going to give you the documents. I'm going to give you everything I've ever submitted on how to do it. So we have a lot on this slide. So this is the process of how it goes. So the appraiser issues the Tidewater. We have 48 hours to respond back. They have to be like properties, 3 comparables, like properties with superior values, they call it. So a value above what you're asking for in your purchase contract. Okay. That Tidewater comes up, and then it goes over to the SAR, the staff appraiser reviewer. They validate it. Notice of value gets issued. Most people are going to stop there. What we're going to show you is how to go to the next step. Go to the VA Regional Loan Center, and the veteran can write a letter to the VA for hardship, for distress of the veteran. We don't want to put veterans on the street over this process. You have 5 business days to do it. Then the Regional Loan Center directly updates the notice of value. The VA loan, it's low. Here's the Tidewater. You have 2 days from when they notify you. They're going to notify us, the lender, then we're going to notify the realtors. We need usually 3 comparable with superior values: street address, sales price, date of sale, in your gross living area. This is what we provide. All of this means that he doesn't have enough data to sufficiently appraise it at your purchase contract price. But 2 days, very familiar. Now here's the reconsideration of value. Most people don't do this part. So once the reconsideration of value process is going on, we're going straight to the VA. We're not going to the appraiser anymore. We're not going to the SAR anymore. We're going straight to the VA, okay? The Regional Loan Center handles these case-by-case basis, and they have 5 days to review it. We need 3 properties that are superior value. The same process. And then we're going to write a letter, the veteran. I will help the veteran write this letter. And we're going to write the stress of the veteran. He might be, losing sleep. He might work the night shift. Has no home. His apartment building, he hasn't renewed the lease. He's moving. His stuff's in storage. The stress of the veteran is very important here. And they have 5 days to review it. And the VA Regional Loan Center, the number I've heard is they have up to 10% off of the NOV issued to move it up and down. Now, that's just what I've heard. That's not anything scientific. It's not in the lending handbook. So if the notice of value comes in at $300,000, they have up to, quote, $30,000 to help put this veteran in the house because they don't want the stress of the veteran. So it's important to know that. And it's 5 days once it's submitted. And we have all the documentation of exactly how to do this for you. Here's the SAR. Like we said, we already briefly talked about this. It's employed by the lender. They're VA trained. They are the ones that issue the notice of value to the veteran. They're very important in this process. So once they accept that VA appraisal, it's locked. So once the SAR accepts it, that's the break from the appraiser to now we're dealing with just the regional loan center. They're all over the country. They're in the regions. I'm in Atlanta, so we talk to the Atlanta Regional Loan Center. Once again, here's the process. Frowny face, appraiser issues Tidewater, 48 hours for the realtors to come up with comps. He or she is going to do what they want. They're going to go over to the SAR. They're going to issue that to the SAR. The SAR is going to validate the appraisal. And they're not looking at the comps. They're just validating the appraisal. They're going to issue the notice of value. And that's where people stop. But this is where we come in. Our team comes in. This is why we're talking. We're educating. Is the reconsideration value is step 2. Don't stop at step 1. Go step 2. 5 business days. We write a letter of stress of the veteran, 3 superior comps. We submit it, and they have 5 business days. Normally, it's pretty quick. So we submit it. We call them on the phone. Did you receive it? They're going to review it. They have leeway to adjust the notice of value. They do it directly. The Regional Loan Center adjusts this, not the appraiser, not the SAR. It's only the Regional Loan Center. It's a very fast process. So I think as a veteran myself, we owe it to our veterans to go through this process if we're in this situation. That's all we have. I'm more than happy to discuss one-on-one VA loans, all aspects of it, but I hope you got something out of this. We owe it to the veterans to go to step 2 if we have these questions or any of the things that come up. But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this. There's my contact information, my personal cell. Give me a shout if you got any VA questions. Have a great day.